Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have a very special video for you all. Now, you all might be asking right now, 1. Is this a rant? 2. Is this a rave? 3. Is this a review? 4. Opinion? Well, I guess you could consider it a rant and slasher opinion. But anyways, I'm gonna reminiscence about my life in Holmes High School and how it was like for me. To begin, it was okay at first when I'm merely just a freshman. However, the problems soon kicked in later though out of life there. And boy did I had many problems there, so many it's amazing how I survived it all. Well, you got your average high school bullies. Then you got pregnant teens, then you got people bringing guns to school, awful security, etc. Yeah, those kinds of problems. And many more as well. But before I get into detail about the other problems, I will say right now that Holmes High School has a daycare center. Why? Because there are boys there that like to get with girls and not use protection, thus equaling the girls getting pregnant and relying on the daycare center for help. First off, why does Holmes need a daycare center? Why on earth would it spend good money on something that isn't needed? If a girl gets pregnant with a boy, it's their problem. It shouldn't rest with the high school, but of course, they have to have a daycare center. How wonderful. Moving away from that BS, now it's time I share with you all those other problems I mentioned earlier. When I mean other problems, I mean personal problems, problems that I experienced, not others. I have quite the stories to tell, and I got one for you all right now. Personal problem number 1, Benjamin Neville's, Coach Neville's. Now, why is a Holmes High School coach a problem of mine? He's not really a bad person, but he can tend to assume the wrong things about someone. For starters, he thinks I'm a liar. He never believes what I say if something gets stuck on me. I'm telling you the truth right now. I told the truth to him, but like Count Dooku to Obi-Wan in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, he did not believe me. Oh, did I mention I had this guy since Holmes Middle School? Yeah, me and him, we go back quite a bit. When I first met him, he was a nice guy. But later on he found out I am quite the talker and questioner. He tried to limit my talking and questioning. So what if I want to talk frequently and ask questions frequently? Oh yeah, I did try to explain to Neville's about my earlier life and my so-called developmentally delayed learning disability. And no, DDLD is not Asperger's or retardation or whatever you want to call it. DDLD means that learning things for me is slower than those without DDLD, and it does hinder my maturity a bit. Anyways, I tried to explain to this guy I have that and I stopped talking around the age of 5 or 6. But guess what? He didn't believe that either. Well, you get the point. To sum up Mr. Neville's, he's not a bad person, but he can say the wrong things. Personal problem number 2, lack of decent school lunch. I know this sounds really stupid, but to be honest, I usually couldn't find something at lunch that appealed to me. Or at least something I can agree on. This is because the food looks fake and disgusting. Believe it or not, it's so horrifically terrible, it makes McDonald's looks like the world's best eating establishment. I'm not kidding, the food at Holmes is either cold, hard, burnt, or reheated. Sometimes they use leftovers from the past day, and they really don't cook the food at all. They use heater ovens, because it's easier and faster. I am amazed how anyone who works in the kitchen is called a chef. I put it in quotations because they don't even classify as chefs or cooks in the first place. A cook, or chef, is when a person actually prepares the food the proper way, by cooking it, not using heaters just because they are too lazy to learn how to cook. To sum up school lunch at Holmes, and I know pretty much every school in the US is like this, but for Holmes, there is nothing appealing or filling to eat for lunch. Being hungry feels better than not being hungry, at least when you're at Holmes, that is. Personal problem number 3, the teachers. Oh boy, I didn't want to come to this, but my third pet peeve with Holmes are the teachers. Not all teachers though, some of them are great and actually do their job. No, when I mean, the teachers, and putting that in quotations, I single quote am referring to those kind of teachers who can teach Jack in the Box because they don't put any effort into teaching students, ones that don't care about bullied students, ones that are just flat out lazy, and finally, ones that are complete ignorant whelps. I definitely had those teachers, of course, or else I wouldn't be sharing this problem with you all today. Anyways, where to begin? Where to begin? These teachers are so indescribable. One example of a teacher I had that couldn't fully stay on subject of the class was Mr. Abston, my Spanish 2 teacher I had when I was a senior. Why couldn't he stay on topic of Spanish? Maybe it's because he was too busy giving the class his personal background, sexuality, etc. I found out that he is a homosexual, and I have no problems with him. Anyways, he would sometimes tell us about his so-called husband. I forgot his name, but I believe Mr. Abston met his husband in Mexico. And yes, his husband is Hispanic. I don't know about you all, but I find that hilariously ironic. Now, for a teacher who was lazy, though he was nice to me though. Anyways, his name is Imar Wagner. He's a laid-back kind of guy. Whenever we have tests or finals in his class, he just gives us the answers. That's right, instead of being told to study for tests, he just gives us the answers and we write them down. I had him twice, once I believe as a sophomore or junior, then again for the last time as a senior. Both times I had him were easy, obviously, since any work we did in his class were just tests and finals. Next, for teachers who couldn't step in or didn't give any hoots about bullied students, well, to be honest, most of my teachers in all 4 years didn't do much. Sometimes they will say, stop, and there might be a time where they might send bullies to the office, but most of the time, they just let bullies run amok. Terrible, I know. Finally, for mean teachers, I have a few. To be honest, I may had a few of them, but most teachers were friendly to me in general. Well, that wraps up my third personal problem. Personal problem number 4, snow days. Ugh, I believe all schools are like this. Well, I guess it depends on the region of the US you live in. But for us, if Holmes used up too many days, students were forced to come to school no matter how terribly cold the weather can be around winter time, or sometimes they might cut a break and give us an hour or 2 delay. But other than that, if you didn't get a delay or day off on a snow day, you were forced to come to Holmes. Bullshit, I know. I don't want to get into detail about this problem, but I will say it's complete bullshit. Personal problem number 5, sick days. Just like snow days, if you use too many sick days, you have to attend school or else they will send a sheriff to your house, or sometimes you have to have a meeting with one at Holmes. I'll be honest, there are students who do use sick days because they hate school or just don't feel like it. Sometimes they may have been in a sickness for weeks or maybe months, and besides, we can't help if we get sick. We can try to avoid sickness as much as possible, but we can't avoid it forever. If we get sick, we get sick. It's life. But with Holmes High School and other schools, they don't care. They want their money for students attending Holmes. Personal problem number 6, getting slapped in the face. That's right. One day during lunch when I was still a senior, I went into the cafeteria's men's room. And then afterwards, for no reason, this black kid slaps me in the face and he has a smile on his face. Honestly, I hate Holmes with a burning passion. Thankfully, I did rat out the little bastard. As they say, payback's a bitch, and indeed it is. Personal problem number 7, kids with their pants down. Of course, this is the 2010s, people's standards for wearing clothes has gone down. At least in America. Yep, another problem I had in Holmes was seeing boys having their pants down. In public. Not in the bathrooms, but in public. How wrong. Kids today have no manners, do they? For the longest time, I wanted to say to these kids, pull your pants up, you disgusting bunch of ruts. Or something like that. But with all seriousness though, it's just wrong for them to have their pants down in school. Personal problem number 8, cafeteria fights. I think I'll probably end it with this, cafeteria fights. Yep, this is just another of my pet peeves I have with Holmes, cafeteria fights. It happens every day, almost every day. Usually all it takes is one shell to say something to someone else or start to hurt them verbally, and the next thing you know, kids get into a fight. One way I can also detect a cafeteria fight easily is when all the other kids are gathered in a crowd saying stupid encouraging shit like, fight, 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 fight. Then the school officials come in and break up the fight, and a police officer or sheriff comes in to arrest the people fighting. You can get one time at Holmes where there is peace. Nope, there has to always be fights and other shit isn't there. Well, in conclusion, if you want to know how I feel about Holmes and how it's like, well, for feels, it's awful. For experience, it's horrible. So yeah, Holmes is not the land of milk and honey. I know just about every school in the US has its problems, but never have I seen a school this notorious. Seriously, if anyone has any desires about choosing Holmes as their choice of high school, let me give you some advice right now. Don't attend Holmes, nor sign up with them. It's terrible. Like I said before, all schools have problems, but I think Holmes may just take the cake. It's unspeakably horrible. Do yourself a favor, stay away from this hellhole. Oh. And speaking of hell, I give this school the name, Hell High School. If anyone wants hell on earth, well, I have discovered it, it's Holmes High School. This is hell on earth. Phew, what a way to share an experience, huh? Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any feedback you want me to hear or suggestions for videos, let me know. You're more than welcome to drop a suggestion or drop me some feedback. I will get to it. Have a great day everyone. This is the Bitrate Gamer, signing off once again for tonight.